Not yet gone live.
हो गया सर लाइव.
Yeah. So playing up the video.
हाँ.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this event 75 on 75. First of all, I would like to welcome the audience on our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for sparing time to join us in this celebration. Then I would like to invite and welcome all our dealer partners. You are the guys for whom we exist. And therefore, a big thank you for all of you for being partners with us and for joining us for this addition to the family. The key team members, I think the four key people who've made this day possible. Suraj, who manages the retail business, Sunil, who manages the operations, Amit, who's the head of network, and Abhishek, who manages the marketing. A big thank you to all four of you and welcome to this. It's actually your show more than mine. I am happy to be the compare, something that I think I have come to enjoy. And most importantly, I would like to welcome all the incoming franchisees. You're joining a family which is already 350 plus, growing rapidly, and dedicated to make you successful more than anything else. And then finally, but no less important, in fact most important, I would like to welcome the four guests we have. I'll speak about them during the show, but first, Amit Sinha. Amit is the president of group strategy at M&M, one of the most vocal and steadfast supporters of Mahindra First Choice. Thank you so much, Amit, for sparing time. I know you must be in the middle of so many things. Then my old friend Sanjeev. Sanjeev, since the days we've been haggling over Huawei phones to today, it's quite a walk for you as well as for me. Nice to see your beaming face as always, Sanjeev, and thanks for making it to the show despite being at the airport. We have Vishnu Somani from ExxonMobil. In the first instance, it's the first Vishnu we are having a real heavyweight, on this show from the oil and gas industry, and so we'll be very, 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 very excited to hear you. Thank you so much for taking time to join us. And finally, my friend Nitesh Rawal, from Mahindra Finance. He's one of those original believers, original core of from where we start. He heads the pre-owned car business from Mahindra Finance side. So all four of you, thank you so much. The first thing I want to set in context, a couple of sentences, that is that, why 75 on 75? I think it's our 75 store inauguration. In fact, we have many more other stores lined up. We could have easily done 100, but we actually wanted to keep 75 because 75, when the country becomes 75 years, is our humble tribute to the month we are going through, the Independence month that we're going through. And it's been a bit of a humbling feeling for us. You know, you will note as we go through the program that we have had new stores being added across 16 states of this country, right? And you know, during this pandemic, when movement is restricted, people are not, businesses, or at least was the last thing on their minds for people. Uh, During this, despite this, there has been so many additions and many more in the pipeline. It is a testament, first and foremost, of the confidence that India as a country and entrepreneurs have in Mahindra brand. I think that is something that we all owe our existence to. The second is the foresight of people who are joining us. In fact, despite these troubled times, in fact, someone taking the effort and looking beyond the obvious to their long-term business plans is something us a lot of confidence and fills us with a lot more responsibility. Then I think the whole existing network of dealerships we have, who have supported us, who have helped grow this business, from the days when it was an unorganized industry to something which is today one of the most sought after industries. And finally, to the team who have gone out of their way to kind of help us reach this milestone. So I think what I would like to kind of put in perspective is there is a natural tailwind behind this industry. There is a lot of interest from consumers, from the channel, from every part of the ecosystem in the growth and organization of the used car market. And I think, therefore, it is an ideal time for all of us to see how we can partner together so that everyone can benefit from the incoming boom that is inevitably going to follow. You would have heard, a lot of you would have heard a lot of different models emerging in this space, a lot of different players, which I think is a very, very welcome sign. In fact, it shows how the market is deepening and maturing. It is not about who did what, who is at what size, etc., etc. When the whole swell comes, all of us benefit, and I think that is, to my mind, the most the best indicator that's coming for this industry. So with a welcome to my guests and our new partners, I would like to invite Amit. Amit, like I mentioned, is the president of Group Strategy. For the last 17, 18 years, he used to be the partner at Bain. In fact, Bain, one of the top 4 consulting firms in the world. And he's kind of seen many blokes like me and many, many, many more. He understands the whole space like nobody else. In fact, I thought, I would have to explain it to him. But what I, in fact, got is a lot of practical wisdom on how to build sites, what consideration to keep, given his deep experience. Most importantly, he's a person with very strong insight into business as it is done, not business as it is shown on PowerPoint slides. So Amit, over to you. Thank you for joining us. And as a chief guest for the evening, may I invite you for a few words?
Thank you, Ashutosh. It's a privilege. It's an honor. It's an exciting opportunity for me to be here. Thank you. This is a great gathering, and I'll just take just a few minutes to share some of my excitement about the journey that you are planning to undertake. I'd like to make very specific 3 points. The first point is about Mahindra Group's commitment to First Choice and everything that can make this journey successful for Mahindra First Choice and its extended family in the form of dealership and ultimately benefiting the customer. As you've seen, I think Nitesh is here. Nitesh represents Mahindra Finance, which is a key part of making this journey exciting. But from a shareholder perspective, from M&M perspective, as you have seen, Mahindra First Choice has been designated as one of the growth gems or one of the digital platforms that we see significant value in. You will see a lot more of support, a lot more of excitement from the Mahindra M&M board to take this platform to a level that has not been achieved by any other firm in the country. And hopefully this will be a glowing example of how to do the used car business in a very innovative way, but not lose out on the element that has made the auto sector successful and Mahindra First Choice successful so far. So first and foremost is the commitment and the effort that has been made by Mahindra Group to support First Choice going forward as you undertake this the new and exciting journey. The second part is, I think, whenever the growth comes, and as you've seen, a lot of fundraisers happened, a lot of new companies have come in, new age firms have come in with business model which are quite different. Some business models are quite, I would say, have existed, but many new business models try to disintermediate, eliminate anybody who's in the middle between the firm and the customer. However, as we are developing our own business model at First Choice, we feel that the franchisee, the dealers, the physical element that exists between Mahindra First Choice and customer in the form of the audience here is an extremely important element of that relationship. Without that relationship, this model will not flourish. So while we are trying to develop our own business model that has a lot more digital, but we feel that this digital model is more of a phygital model, physical and digital, that will create a differentiation in the eyes and minds of the customers. And to that end, I think this is, Ashutosh, what you're doing here with the team, the extended family, just shows that our conviction, our affection to this group, which will make us successful, and hopefully we will contribute to the success of each of you, each of the family members, extended family members. I would also highlight the importance of the customer experience. We exist because our customers allow us to exist. We exist because our customers like to buy or purchase and make transactions with us. Given what you see, there is so much money has gone in some of our peers. You will see a little bit of rough road ahead where a lot of private equity money that will come in and try to disrupt the business model. But what I've seen across all the other firms, and you probably have seen yourself in many of the businesses like Flipkart, which was indigenous taking on Amazon, or Zomato, which is changed the way the food delivery works in this country. They have completely changed, but they also gone through a model in which they got blistering growth, but they had to burn cash to actually get there. We are trying to be very thoughtful about how do we get the growth, but we also want to be cautious about our wallets to make sure that the growth, the journey is sustainable. You don't want a situation where you burn so much cash and get the growth, but then the moment the cash is taken away, the private equity money or the short-term money goes out, the business comes down. So we are trying to create a business model with your partnership, with your help, that will stay sustainable, successful for multi-years. And that's why the key element is how do we get the customers to like us. The value proposition we offer to them is superlative compared to anybody. It can challenge the short-term money pressure that come from other sources, but we are going to provide a product, a service, an experience that's going to be unparalleled compared to anybody in the industry. We're going to provide them with warranties, we're going to provide them with finance, we're going to provide them with insurance, we're going to provide them all sorts of comfort in the minds of the consumer that it cannot be matched by any of our competitors or peers. And to that effect, the customer experience element becomes so much important. So as we look at the next phase of Mahindra First Choice journey, you will find that we are not going to be aggressive, but also be smart about how we build the customer franchise, customer relationship to beat our competitors and create a business model that will stay here for a long, long time. So with that, I just 3 points from my side. Number one was, Mahindra Group support to take this business and this relationship to the next level. We will continue to have a model that is going to be phygital, which will have existence of digital models, our own franchise stores, our own stores, and our own backend to support everything that the customer wants. And third is the superlative customer experience that will build on everything, but will create a sustainable model which is not going to be affected by short-term smart money or money that is coming in. We will create a business that people will say, the customers will say, wow, this is Mahindra First Choice and its partners who have given us an amazing experience. So those are the three key elements I just wanted to highlight, and your role, your importance working with Ashutosh and our leadership team would be so much critical. So look forward for the journey, and I'll stay abreast of all the changes and will contribute in any way I can. But thank you, Ashutosh, for having me, and look forward to seeing you lead this company and this relationship to the next level that nobody can match in this country and hopefully beyond.
Thank you so much, Amit. One question, I mean, in fact, you touched on this, but I just want to get the benefit. You've worked with many industries, and many of these industries have been unorganized, right? You mentioned Zomato, etc. You know them very well. How they manage to create a customer experience, which maybe the restaurant, if people come to a restaurant, they get that kind of experience, but they created a completely different customer experience, in Zomato. In our case, as you know, we have all this 400 odd franchisee spread across different parts. They are all of different sizes in different markets. What 2 or 3 ways, practical ways, would you suggest for all our franchisee partners to keep in mind to make sure that the customer experience is, to the extent possible, good and standardized? Because I think customers will expect that in this new world.
Yeah, no, great question. I think, and Ashutosh, I knew, I think I have sold a couple of my cars to recently as I plan my journey from Delhi to Mumbai. So I'll share something that might just be hopefully useful, but also practical. I think the first and foremost is, while customers are looking for a deal, they also care about fairness in the dealings with any entity. Mahindra's brand, you may have heard Mahindra's governance, Mahindra ESG, Mahindra's ways of working are probably number 1 in the whole country, and we are probably top 10 or top 20 in the world. I think the Mahindra brand, Mahindra trust actually will support the dealer, the franchise community in terms of creating that first level of trust, first level of fairness, first level of comfort, that this brand stands for something that is not going to try to take some short-term benefit out of them. And I think we should build on that. There are many new age companies, but there is no other company that can match Mahindra and Mahindra First Choice. We have existed for so many years. You talked about 400 touch points, our footprint. No other firm can actually match that today. But if you don't have the fairness, the trust, the support that our brand can employ, we may end up losing out to our peers. So it's very, very important that we remind ourselves of what we stand for: fairness, trust, and transparency, and amazing relations with the customers. The second is, in the new model, why are these models becoming so important? Because many of the companies are putting huge amount of capital in building a tech platform. And I think that's seen as a, hey, if you have a tech platform, that solves all the problems. But in a country like India, in an emerging market like India, there is no way technology can take away everything. And Ashutosh, I spent a lot of time with Zomato. Zomato, founder used to work for me at Bain. He was a colleague of mine. His business is as physical as it can get. You actually have to, take physical food from a physical restaurant, physically on a bike, in a box, to deliver physically to a customer who eats that food. This is all physical. But the business model was designed in such a way that at that time when we spoke to him recently, 141.4 lakh delivery boys, none of them are none of them are employees of Zomato. The recruitment of those delivery boys, the selection process, police verification, even the t-shirt size, the logo, the box that comes to them, everything is designed and implemented through a technology platform. So I think, when we think about technology and digital, we forget that the real business is physical. Our business is physical. Technology exists to facilitate pain points, address some of the challenges that exist in the customer journey, and they do nothing. It used to be hundreds of phone numbers calling hundreds of different restaurants. Now you have one number to call and the whole system works because that was a customer pain point. It's solved by Zomato and the Swiggies and many other companies around the world. So technology made the physical world, more efficient. So as we think about our own customer journey, I think we just have to leverage the 400 touch points and everything and the backend that supports us. How do we make it easier? 100, 1-800 sell my car should be the way customers sell the cars to us, and 100 buy a car with Mahindra should be the way, customers should buy the car from us. It should be so simple from a price, transparency, trust, and everything in between. So that's the second point I would highlight in terms of how to think about technology and all this exciting news that we see around. Third and last point from my side is, I think many of these tech firms have underestimated the importance of our employees, our talent, our workforce. COVID has also, made it look that, hey, only digital media matters. We have an amazing set of talent, amazing set of employees all around, not only at Mahindra, but also at all of the franchisee. The business, the catchment area, the customers better than anybody. I think we should just go back as soon as hopefully the pandemic allows us to operate in full capacity. My belief is that the physical world will take over and all the knowledge, all the learning that you have about every customer that resides in your catchment area will come to help you rebuild the business in a much more exciting way. Obviously, well supported by technology, well supported by multiple other things that we talk about. But we should just not accept the fact that, hey, the world has become digital and whatever we have developed for the last 20, 30 years is just gone and we can't benefit from it. We have amazing strength, all of us have, and we should use that to build our business and not be intimidated by any of the digital only players. So those would be additional 3 things I would say in response to your question, Ashutosh. Hopefully, you're welcome to comment on my views, but hopefully this aligns well with how the teams might want to take their next steps forward.
Thank you so much, Amit. And I think one of the things that I think is very, very relevant for us and our dealer partners is that a lot of what we will do going forward is to make sure that the technology platform enables your experience to be kind of, in a way, intermediated. And that is something that is top of our minds. We are already launched initiatives like e-commerce, which is omni-channel, which is, your journey, part of your journey is online, but a lot of it is offline. Suraj will kind of deal with it. And that is something that we are putting, which we actually believe in. Before I let you go, Amit, one last question. What is the secret of such amazing backgrounds that you have? I can see Vishnu also having, so I'll ask him the same question. But in your case, every time I see you, there's brilliant backgrounds from somewhere. You once took me to Jupiter, and then
I think Anish also asked me the same question on Friday. I was doing the leadership speak. So I was telling him that 2 things. Number one is in this virtual world, I think we're done talking about how is it to work from home and how are you feeling and what's the COVID situation. So just to spice up and have some fun element in our conversation to break the ice, I think the background is a good start. So that's the first one. And the second one is, in my previous firm, I was responsible for fun and food in the whole office. And so inject fun in different ways. So this is the easiest way I've found that I can inject a little bit of fun into our relationship with my colleagues, at least virtually. So those are the two reasons for me to keep looking out for new backgrounds and then keep hopefully getting you excited about them.
And some Zomato vouchers for food virtually, actually, for us. Thank you so much, Amit. Thank you so much for this. We would have normally gone to the section of inauguration of 20 dealers, but Sanjeev's flight is about to take off. So I'll move for next to Sanjeev, and then we'll come back and inaugurate the dealerships. So Sanjeev, I know you are in the flight. So people around you will presume what's happening. Guys, I know Sanjeev for a long time. We've sparred over many sessions. But one thing I can tell you, he's a guy, worth his weight in gold. I mean, no pun intended, but for whatever, I can take some liberties of you. So Sanjeev, thank you for joining us. I think you're doing groundbreaking job yourself in Ampere, appointing new dealers, breaking new ground with EVs, etc., etc. As you see the future, and especially with regard to used part of the business, both from your perspective as well as from the larger market, how do you see it growing, and what are the words of wisdom that you have from the experience that you have?
Yeah, thank you, Ashutosh, for having me around. I have an earphone, fortunately, so nobody's going to hear what you're saying. And I assure you, this is not a virtual background. I'm actually on a flight. We just completed one more acquisition in the L5 electric vehicle cargo business. So before I come there, Ashutosh, first of all, congratulations to you and your team for this great milestone. And thanks for all your nice words. And in fact, it's been exciting every time I talk to you. I think just after COVID, two things have definitely shown hockey stick growth. One is the shift towards EV. I think we have seen it, especially on the electric bikes and scooters. It's a very fast pace. The second thing is personal mobility through used cars, used vehicles. I was also out in the market, and I was studying what's going on. I visited a couple of Mahindra First Choice dealers too, and it's quite impressive what your franchises are doing. They clearly don't call themselves as dealers. They say they are Mahindra First Choice partners, which is very good. They should continue to do that. As Amit said, the customer trust and the journey I find is definitely a notch better in Mahindra First Choice. And I have myself sold a used car at Mahindra First Choice in Bangalore. Very good experience, good rates, etc. And as Amit said, and as you pointed out, with the personal mobility taking its pace, Mahindra First Choice holding on to the fact that you have a right digital mechanism to assess the vehicle, put a right price to it, and get the deal straight to the customer, or in terms of selling, you give the customer the right price. That's being well appreciated, and it's only going to see a fast-paced growth pretty clearly. The new car business is obviously stagnant right now, but people have to adapt to personal mobility. Anyone with a larger family, we're clearly seeing between price range of 2 lakhs to 5 lakhs, 6 lakhs, a very good potential in the used car business, and also in the electric EV business. It's going really fast. So with that, it's exciting space that the franchises are going to be. And I think you're going to add a lot of franchises pretty soon. In fact, I've got contacts who've been asking to become Mahindra First Choice franchisees too. So good luck to all of you. I think we are in the right space, and with Mahindra First Choice being very focused on digital and the quality that is being offered. Fantastic journey.
So, you are absolutely right, Sanjeev. The whole model of phygital. In fact, you've been one of those ardent believers in this omni-channel, phygital kind of a model. a lot of people say, digital will run away with everything. But you've been one of those ardent believers, I remember, since the time we met first, of this online, offline. Do you think it's got relevance in the used car and say an EV kind of a model, or everything will eventually start happening on the net?
Great question, Ashutosh. In fact, when I took over Ampere, as you know, we were present in a very small pocket and we had to expand. Now we're in 200 plus markets. We have sold 1 lakh plus vehicles. Everybody asks this question. In automobile, who talks about digital? But the entire journey in terms of, we created an app called the Ampere Care. So the service contact between the customer and the dealer was on a digital platform. They appreciated that. The other thing is the products being listed online. Um, Now everybody's on the phone. The customer's journey, instead of spending so much of time at the physical location, 60% of the journey is digital. And of course, as an automobile product, the trust, the confidence always is there when you there at the showroom, and that will always remain. But it reduces the time that needs to be spent at the dealership. So 60% of the time is saved. The customer comes more informed. So this marriage, amalgamation of digital plus digital is very helpful. One is it's also great for the customer because he sees the inventory, understands the product features, then he walks in and he knows what he needs to do. And for all the dealer franchising, it's easy because the customer is a serious customer who comes in, and also for lead management, for service after that. It's a great platform. So we've also seen that, and definitely it's going to help in the experience improvement in the used car business as well.
I completely agree with you. I think it's more or less in line with what Amit was saying, that there is no substitute for online and offline in the categories that you and I operate in. I mean, it might be different in a more standardized small product category, but in a product category where there's so much value, unlikely that people would prefer a completely disintermediated digital process. So thank you so much. I won't hold you, Sanjeev. I know you are in the flight, but thank you for taking time out to kind of address our people. It filled us with a lot of energy. Seeing you fills me a lot makes me look younger and feel younger at least.
Thank you, Ashutosh. I could just simply say no, wherever I am, I will definitely join for your show. Good luck to everyone. Mahindra First Choice is going to rock, and you have a well-wisher for all franchises out there. Stay safe, and good luck again.
Thank you so much, and have a nice flight. Thank you.
Thank you.
So with this, you guys heard two stalwarts. Amit coming from a different lens, a strategic lens. Sanjeev coming from consumer durables first, and now EV at other end. So we have deliberately brought these two perspectives, which we hope tells you a few things. One, that there is going to be online and offline. So all our dealer partners, you need to kind of make sure that the customer experience is kind of managed so nicely that customers do not need a negative experience to try and test out other things, other options. And the second is essentially about the fact that customer needs are changing, and with that we need to evolve. With this, Abhishek, to you, I think why don't we first inaugurate the set of two sets of dealers, one that Amit was supposed to inaugurate and the other that Sanjeev was supposed to inaugurate. Over to you.
My privilege, Ashutosh. Bala, if we can have the first set of dealers rolled out.
So we had this first set of 20 dealers that we inaugurated. So what we will do is, before we go to the next set, let me first, for the benefit of everyone, unveil who we are talking about, right? Who's done all that? It's very easy for me to sit here and claim all the credit, and frankly, I don't grudge it, right? But actually, the reality is there are, like I mentioned, 4 people, who've been largely responsible with their teams to make this day a reality. In fact, they have a complaint saying, in public you think we've done a great job, but jab review ka time aata hai, then you think as if we are good for nothing. So I said, with that disclaimer, I must just admit that I think the work done is, it's like Robert Frost says, the woods are lovely, dark and deep. Promises to keep. So people who are in network and in sales need to remember the promises to keep and miles to go before you sleep, kind of stuff. So it's always target ahead of you. But let me first introduce Suraj. I think Suraj is the head of retail business. Suraj, before I come to the brass tacks of network development, one of the things that we've noticed about how our relationship with dealers have evolved is that, we have started doing, or you've started doing, a lot of experiments, right? New things, new formats, etc., etc. How have some of your experiments kind of worked out, and how have you been able to convince dealers to participate in it? Because there is always a tendency of saying, look, everything is going okay, why kind of rock the boat?
Right. In fact, Ashutosh, if I think about last 1.5 years, and we have done a lot of things, right? In fact, pandemic gave us an opportunity to revisit our strategies. Amit will definitely will speak about the network expansion. Sunil will speak about the operational excellence. I would like to mention one point over here is that even when the entire country was under lockdown, we were interacting with the prospects and doing things to support and prepare our channel partners for the post-lockdown scenario. So I'll mention about the 2 key initiatives today. First one you mentioned about it is the e-commerce. As we all know that pandemic has changed the consumer behavior to a greater extent, for obvious reasons we all know, right? And we really wanted to utilize our digital platform. So we have a very strong digital platform in the form of Mahindra First Choice Wheels website and the car and bike platform. So currently we have launched the e-commerce in 2 cities, Pune and Chennai, and hope to launch it pan-India very soon. I'll just talk about in short about the e-commerce. So all the customers closing the transactions through e-commerce route gets additional advantage. So when I say so, I'll just list down some of them. Like once you give a token, so we have kept a token amount of 1,000 rupees, you get exclusive 48 hours reservation. So inventory is blocked for 48 hours, and you have opportunity during that 48 hours to take a test drive at home and decide on the particular inventory which you want to go through. Second, the most important, which is again industry first from Mahindra First Choice Wheels, is 2 years warranty. In fact, this is the first time it has happened in the used car industry that a player is giving a 2 years warranty on used cars. So that's an offering for the e-commerce customer. The next one is 7-day easy return policy. Then there is a guaranteed buyback for the customers. So we guarantee customers that whatever product is bought from MFCW, there is a guarantee from our side. Whenever customer wants to sell, even after 6 months, 1 year, maybe after 5 years, there will be a buyback from Mahindra First Choice Wheels. We are also offering lowest finance interest rate. In fact, Mahindra Finance is one of our partners in that. So host of advantages when you book through e-commerce. We are really excited looking at the initial responses, and in fact, we are keeping our fingers crossed that we will launch it soon pan-India. Second is the superstore. As the name suggests, it's a large format store. And we are hoping that this will redefine the consumer experience of buying a pre-owned car. Superstore will cater to the needs of customer not only through its own inventory, but will guide customers with the inventories of other stores in the city if needed. Now, this will be a very unique kind of arrangement. Generally, it is felt that a customer, when walks into a particular store, general tendency is to talk about its own inventory. So we are changing that with the launch of the superstore. So we'll be launching the 2 superstores soon. We have always kept our channel partners' interest in mind while we come out with any product, right? And we'll continue to come up with new initiatives to organize this market further. I welcome all the members. So 20 we have inaugurated, further 55 to come on board. Welcome to MFCW family.
So Suraj, I think a very important point that you mentioned. I think I just want to add one point to what you said and just ask you on that, build on that. See, if we are doing such experiments, right, the core is essentially dealer success, right? So, you know, what do you think, if I was a dealer or all the new dealers who are coming, what should they be kind of, what should they be, उनको क्या सोच में रखना चाहिए जब ये सोचें कि इस तरह के इनिशिएटिव्स में पार्टिसिपेट करना चाहिए? What should they keep in mind before participating?
A very important, good question, Ashutosh. In fact, काफी channel partners हमारे अभी ये live event देख रहे हैं, and I want to convey through this event that going forward, there will be 2 things that will differentiate anybody in the market, and the first one has to be consumer experience. आप कैसा customer को experience दे रहे हैं वही define करेगा. Product more or less remains the same, right? Pricing भी आपका more or less same ही रहता है, maybe plus minus 4 to 5%, right? What will really differentiate is the consumer experience, and that has to come first. So this is one. And second, I think we have been talking since the beginning, is the that we have to take advantage, leverage the digital platform. We already have digital platform in place. Traditional way of managing the customer, yes, it is there. But now what we have seen in last 2-3 years, that whenever we used to go to dealership used to talk about walk-ins. मेरे पास कितने customer का walk-in हुआ है? Now that has completely changed. Right now, when we go to dealerships, they fight about leads. आप मुझे कितना leads दे रहे हैं? So that's the shift. This has happened. And if we have to talk about the digital contribution in the overall dealership sales, in fact, to certain market, it is as high as 60%. So we have really seen the importance of digital. But again, as has been said earlier also, that it has to be a combination of digital and physical, right? Customer has to take test drive. Customer will not be satisfied with only one inventory. So keeping all these things in mind, we are rightly placed. We have a good digital platform. We anyway has a physical presence, and we are very strong in actually managing customer experience. But that has to evolve to the next level, keeping in mind the expectation of the new age customers that we have to cater with the digital influence. So these are the 2 things I think will be the most important going forward.
So let me then come to Sunil, who seems to be kind of inspired by whom in your new look is inspired by whom? Sunil?
It's inspired by, earlier it was inspired by Raju Dubey, but now it's my own look actually, to be frank with you.
Okay, it's inspired by Raju Dubey. Okay. So Sunil, yes. I see you in calls with all, talking in very, very nice, soft, pleasant tones with all your.
I know you want to pass on all these comments because of some other reason. I understand.
So, one of the things that we see is that you have put a lot of emphasis nowadays on monitoring performance dealer by dealer almost on a daily basis. How do you do, you have such a large channel. How do you do it, and how does it benefit the dealer? what do you expect the dealers to do to make sure that anything that they need is communicated to you?
Yeah, sir. Actually, after the second wave of COVID, we thought when market started a little bit opening again in somewhere around May, we launched a mission which is called Fateh, basically. At that particular time, Fateh is a similar word, which is a Hindi word basically, but it's same as like Chak De Fateh. And from there, when we thought that yes, we should take something as a target aim, because now the market is getting open. And after the last COVID, wave, we've seen that there are a lot of dealers who were actually initial stage suffering because of poor stocks. Actually, customers have started because of all pandemic scenario and all kind of a social distancing. They started buying, but particular models or particular kind of range of a product was not available. So we have decided to increase a stock level wherever the dealers doesn't have a proper stock, kind of a retailing, whatever we look at it as for that particular area. So we took that. Actually, the Fateh was actually initiated mainly for ensuring that dealers are becoming successful after this immediate when the business starts. So that was a main intention or main motto which was there. And for that, like we looked at it at least about 4 parameters. One is the stock which has to be there in place. Second is like leads has to be there in place for the dealers, along with the test rides which are planned properly. And third is retail of vehicles in time by offering a kind of a customer excellence program, which we have started on e-commerce also, and in digitalization also. So that we planned it immediately after that, and we started having a call every day evening at particular level at the end of the day, wherein almost about we gather about all team members of my all 40 sales guys and all army of sales guys, along with zonal managers. And many a times I would like to tell even Amit sir also, many a times I should thank Ashutosh sir that he also gets involved, and either he motivates or he also kind of gives some suggestions, or he also takes our class on that.
Or demotivates. Amit, that's what he meant.
You take a class of ours. That's what I said, because of not doing certain things. But all said and done, it is basically for for betterment of the business of dealers, and we want them to everyone to retail the vehicle with certified warranty. That's what we take care of it.
Excellent. So thank you so much. I think I've seen how intensely you do it, and thanks to all your team. They actually prepare for it quite diligently.
Thanks for motivating, sir. Thanks.
So Abhishek, now we take this opportunity to kind of inaugurate the next set or unveil the next set of new joinees amongst us.
Absolutely. I think we'll go the next set of 20 dealers. Bala, if we can have the next set live now.
Excellent. Welcome to the new set of 20 dealerships to our family. Now I'll shift gears a little bit and let me just invite Vishnu. Vishnu, you've been patiently listening to us blowing our own trumpet in a way, talking about all the great things that we do and our belief. As someone who is looking at this industry from the outside, but you are in an industry which is actually both both the actually fuel for us literally, but also something that plays at the dealership level, at the front end level, much the same way used car plays. How do you see our industry, and when you see Mahindra First Choice and this industry and other dealers, what's the thing that you would suggest we focus on, or our dealers focus on, for this success?
Thank you so much, Ashutosh. First of all, I would really like to thank Mahindra First Choice family for extending invite to this historic event. Truly a testament of embracing digital tools by bringing broader MFC family together on one platform and celebrating this historic event. I think there's been a lot said by Amit, Suraj, Sanjay about the digital enablement. And we all know, I mean, this is something which is really catching up and something that we cannot live with. But I think what we are showcasing, what we are seeing today is how this entire digital ecosystem is bringing the entire family together. But of course, the experience is given by the physical people at the ground level. So again, I think that's where the blend of digital and the physical experience given by the valued franchise dealership is something which is going to really make the difference. So I really want to, on behalf of ExxonMobil family, please accept my heartiest congratulations and best wishes to all the members and valued franchise partners. I'll come to your question, Ashutosh. I mean, as I think Amit also mentioned about this, from an after-sales market perspective, and in particular used car segment, it is definitely showing a very promising growth trend. Due to pandemic, there has been an increased number of people preferring personal mobility over shared, which we used to kind of see pre-COVID days when Olas and Ubers of the world were really picking up a lot of traction. And this is resulting in the pent-up demand, as well as I'm sure this demand momentum will continue. I think most of the statisticians, the external consultants, including our own internal view, suggest that this segment is definitely grow to the tune of a double-digit CAGR between now to 2025, 2026. So indeed, a great time to be in this segment and provide consumers that enriching experience, as that is what is going to be the key differentiator amidst growing competition. I think the whole theme through the last almost an hour now has been about or around giving that enriching experience to the customer, or talking about the customer journey. We all know that experiences these days is not just the experience, but it is actually more than a product. So I think Suraj mentioned about this, that the cars are I mean, they're available to all the consumers, but it is a journey that people go through, and that's what decides or makes up their mind to be the loyal customer of one of those brands. So like how Mahindra First Choice brings that brand promise to the consumer, so that when they go through the journey of making a choice to own a vehicle, I think they all feel extremely confident, informed, and drive back that peace and the promise that Mahindra First Choice is offering, or the entire franchise dealership is offering. On a similar ground, we at ExxonMobil, through our technologically advanced lubricants and constant innovation, provide confidence to our consumers of riding a vehicle which promises solid performance and reliability. So again, I think I really want to wish all the success to the team, and really look forward to work with all of you in driving home that consumer a sense of confidence. I think that's a key word in my view, is kind of building that confidence with one brand and one promise, and making their dreams and their personal progression real and really fast. Because that's where I think the connect, the loyalty with the brand will stay for long. And the way the trends are showing signs to us, be it the lot of middle class consumers going into the segment of buying used cars, or having that ambition of buying the first car will really feel confident and kind of take that boldness back home with the promises offered by Mahindra First Choice. So I really want to kind of congratulate and extend my best wishes to the entire family here.
Thank you so much, Vishnu. While you were speaking, I must admit I was a bit distracted by your background, of the Red Bull F1 car. How I envy your job. Yeah, you can go sit in a Red Bull pit, and tell us something about that kind of fun, or or would you advise that it's the grass is greener on the other side?
I wouldn't say fully that the grass is green on the other side, but yeah, the whole idea of having this particular background or the kind of and then actually this goes back to the experience, right? When consumer is kind of putting their paddle on the accelerator, and if they feel that thrill, the confidence, the reliability in the vehicle that they're driving, I think that's what will give them a lot of confidence in the brand promise. So it is definitely exciting to be part of the Formula One, and especially I'm sure if you are tracking the 2021 series Grand Prix, we are doing pretty good.
Except in the last two races.
Except in the last two races.
When Verstappen got hit by a man, Hamilton. But yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So it's the experience and the thrill that you get, and that's what I guess the consumers are looking forward to, the experience.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Vishnu. You being here and your endorsement means a lot to us, because, for the longest time, we've seen ourselves as trying to organize an ecosystem. It's now that the industry is matured, where we can take learnings from much more seasoned and mature businesses like yourselves, who work seamlessly on the ground and at different realms. So thank you so much for joining and gracing this occasion.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much, Ashutosh.
So with this, I think I'll go to the architect of the evening in a way. Amit, I normally reserve the hardest questions for you. So let me just, ask you something that is most obvious, but there can be a diplomatic answer, and please don't give a diplomatic answer, which is the request. See, last 14 months has been actually no activity on the ground, right? Or virtually no activity on the ground. All of us are stuck in our work from home and in front of the screens and et cetera, et cetera. How did you manage to in fact, these are only 75 that you're inaugurating. I believe you signed up many, many more dealerships in the interim who will all be launched in due course. What's been the secret? How did you manage it when the whole world was at a standstill in a way?
Thank you, Ashutosh, for the question. I'll start with the cliche. It says, when the opportunity doesn't knock, you have to create a door, right? So I think the network team and the branding team, with support from everyone, has been able to manage to create that door, right? So as you rightly said, typically our network expansion development activities more on the ground, on the field kind of activity, be it any industry, any business. And MFCW has never been an exception before this pandemic, right? But what we did was, we learned a lot from pandemic personally as an organization, as a team. And what we learned is that use of technology. As we have been discussing time and again, that we are a phygital model of business. So we actually went from physical to digital and then phygital, right? So we use technology to a great extent. We adapted the M Teams to our successfully adapted Microsoft Teams, and replaced all our face-to-face meeting with virtual one. So this is one of the reasons where we are talking about 75 at the rate 75. Also, a great factor was that this work from home actually worked in our favor. The entire team was quite motivated and worked harder. we use our time to have more and more virtual meetings with our prospect franchisee partners. And when we got the liberty or the restriction being removed, we also followed it up with a market visit and in-person meeting. So that's what we say, that we have gone from physical to digital to physical in our journey. And you are talking about miles to go before we sleep. Actually, the branding and the network team worked that extra mile to reach the 75 at 75. We are also, very what you call, again, you might say that I'm being diplomatic here, but we were immensely supported by the factor that people have trust in the brand called Mahindra, right? We were meeting people, a person based out of Bombay was meeting somebody from Assam, a person based out of Chennai was meeting somebody in Bangalore with no physical, interaction, face-to-face meeting. But since we are carrying the brand of Mahindra, people trusted us, and what we saw traction from unexplored areas like Northeast, Orissa, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh. These were the places we didn't have significant presence before this pandemic. And as you rightly said, that we have 75 stores across 16 states in India. So that shows our success, right? And this has been possible because the entire branding team, the network team, supported by Sunil and his team, we reached out to as many as people possible. And today here we are at 75 at 75. And I'm sure we'll work towards 100, 150 in time to come.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Amit. And I think I remember those days. Gopal and Ashmit and you and many of you guys who really put in the extra kind of labor, work, etc. to get there. So I think with that, Abhishek, time to inaugurate the next 20.
Yes, this will be our the third set of 20 dealers. Again, we will see a wide variety of dealers from across India in this set as well.
So excellent. Thank you, Amit. Thank you for this. I think one of the things that is worthy of note is the number of states in which new dealers have been appointed. Now, with this, I want to welcome my friend Nitesh Rawal. Nitesh, I've kept you for the last because because you pack in more punch than all of us put together. So I mean, just to give a background, Nitesh manages the pre-owned business of Mahindra Finance, as I mentioned, and he's been one of those who's always stood by even before the industry was organizing. He was the one guy who believed in this more than anyone else. And our partnership with Nitesh specifically goes back a long distance. And I can see now he's back to his old cabin So I can
Yes.
I can force an invitation out of him for myself. So Nitesh, all over to you. I think if you can give us a perspective, your views on what's happening, it will be extremely enlightening for us and our dealers.
Yeah. So Ashutosh, first of all, let me thank you for two things today, right? One is the privilege and honor which you have given to me today. And second, as you mentioned, for inviting me in the last, right? Because I studied somewhere in the exam, whatever you study in the last 1 hour, that is the most of the time you remember the longest, right? And it will give me the opportunity. I want all my dealer friends to remember me for the long, right? Because that is going to help me. Being a Gujarati, spent 10 years in Rajasthan, I always talk about money and the business. So definitely this opportunity which you given me in the last is going to be last longer, right? And just to for all the channel partners, 75 channel partners, right? So I'm just going through the locations, I think so. So Ashutosh, mera interest abhi, you can understand that my interest has gone much more bigger than the earlier set of dealers, because all this location is my strong locations. You name the locations now, whatever I've written it, I don't want to mention it here, but then most of these locations are the stronghold of Mahindra Finance, and this is what we are waiting for actually from a long time. Mahindra First Choice to come out, and where I can, you and the dealer, the entire channel partners in your team can really now see what is the mutual benefit we can contribute in these locations, right? So I would like to welcome all the 75 channel partners and their entire team for their association in Mahindra First Choice. And in turn, this is directly their welcome to a Mahindra family, right? So as I mentioned, I believe in one more thing, like visual last long, right? So I don't want to speak directly, but I have a few slides to share today with all of you, right? I'll just give me a second. I'll just upload my slide, because I want all the channel partners to take away from this slide that how this business is going to help the joint venture, how it is going to help. Is my slide available, visible?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So as I mentioned, we are a part of Mahindra Group, which is a $20.7 million company, right? And I remember when I joined this organization in the year 1999 in the location Vapi, and we used to go to Awa Dang, which is a very tribal belt, right? So whenever that we used to travel with the dealer in the Jeep, and dealer gadi bechta tha, and we used to always tell ki ye finance se, bola kaun sa finance company? Mahindra Finance. So in tribal village also people used to say Mahindra, sirf naam hi kafi aage nahi sunna humko karke. So that is the pride, I think so this group brings for all of us, right? So welcome to this family, right? As I said, Mahindra Finance is the leading finance company, and we are largely automobile finance company. We catered all the vehicles, right, from the 2-wheeler to 20-wheeler, and largely we operate in a semi-urban and rural market. So we are pride that we are the number one NBFC in this segment, right? Now coming to a pre-owned car, once again, thanks to Ashutosh for all his mentorship guidance, which is given to me in the last few years. Now, I think so we can proudly share that we are the number one NBFC in passenger car segment, right? And for me personally, this is just the beginning. With more and more such partners, more and more such mentorship from Ashutosh and 75 partners, and I'm sure I heard another 55 set of dealers is coming to a market where we feel we are dominating there, right? So for me, I think so with this association, the sky is the limit, right? So personally, as a financer, what we think? So as an organization, first of all, the pre-owned used car segment market is one of the growth-driven market for the Mahindra Finance, right? We strongly believe that this business can really bring a huge growth for the organization, right? And that's why we are investing lots of this thing in the technology front, in the manpower, people, branches, and we feel yes, there is a role to play, a larger role to play for us. And why we think this is going to happen is just because the numbers which already the IBB, the Blue Book mentioned, and everybody is endorsing that in the next 3 to 4 years time, this industry is going to be double, right? With the assumption, right, more and more organized players are entering this market. There is lots of fintechs who are interested in making our lives easy, right? And there are multiple hybrid model which is coming and getting evolved, which definitely will solve the problem of easing supply constraint, documentation issues, RTO transfers, all this kind of. So it will give a huge platform to work on this market, work on this platform, and there is huge opportunity available. One thing we observed recently during the pandemic time, right? So the people now, the customers, consumer, now we have the mindset, we have seen the mindset is changed. So earlier, they are normally little bit hesitate to take a pre-owned car, right? But with a pandemic and they want to ensure that we travel safe and use their own private cars, I think most of the people now have started preferring low end or economic entry level cars, which can be the used car, right? And the third is, I think so, the solutions which in bringing like Mahindra First Choice, with which will bring in lots of joint solution, like you will Suraj already mentioned about it. They have partnered with multiple finances, and Mahindra Finance is one of them who can offer a very customized product, high LTV, low IRR, which was earlier it was difficult with such kind of, or without this organized player, right? So we strongly believe there is a huge role to play in this industry for everyone, and we determined to be a very aggressive player throughout the years and partner with Mahindra First Choice in all the dealerships. As I mentioned, currently we share with the help of my dear friend Ashutosh, we share we are at the 20% market share in across pan India Mahindra First Choice dealers, and which means that at finance penetration maybe we are almost 40%, right? We have bundled multiple customized product for Mahindra First Choice dealer, which will be a win-win situation for both of them. And over and above, we have a 1300 branch network and close to 1500 exclusive used car executives across the geography, right? And as I mentioned earlier, our strong hold is always a rural and the semi-urban market. So I can ensure the dealer channel, 75 dealer channels, ki within next 24 hours, I will ensure that somebody senior from my team will personally come and meet you and they will discuss the business, right? As a bundle of the product, what we can offer to you, right? And this is a very important slide for the channel partners. So we want you grow in your pre-owned segment market with the franchisee owner. So we expect you to grow from a one outlet to a multi-outlet. And we want to be really partner for this journey, right? And that's why we believe the one-stop finance solution for all of you, which definitely help. And we want to offer like all the retail products, right, for your retail customers. Also, we have an offer for your interest-free trade advance, which can help you to stock the vehicles and store the inventory. Also, we participate multiple times, we have participated in the joint marketing activity along with the Mahindra First Choice. And individually also, we keep on doing multiple melas like 2-wheeler to 20-wheeler mela, which is our flagship program, where we will invite you and we'll give you the platform where you can interact all our existing customers. And finally, there is an option of inventory funding also, which is available to support you and grow all the time. In terms of customer profile, we cater once again from the salaried profile, small traders, non-income proof, new to credit, farmers, unearned pay, and a taxi, right? So which is definitely, I think so, the need of the hour is a complete platter available for each one of you. And as I mentioned earlier, it is customized. So you require a monthly frequency repayment, quarterly for the farmer, that can be possible. Cash repayment, ACH repayment, that can be possible. And also unearned pay, that is our forte, right? I would like to take Ashutosh's permission to share this slide with you, which we have discussed earlier, but I think so this is the time with now the market opens up and number of channel which is getting increased, right? So what we are discussing here to how we can jointly work so that we can increase the revenue for the dealer channel partners, and also for them the viability will go on a higher side. So as I mentioned, normally any dealer point pay, there are 30 to 50% is the finance penetration, average is 40%, but still there are 60% of the vehicle which is getting sold, right? So here I want to propose, and we already had a one round of discussion with Ashutosh. I'm sure we will very soon come back with the complete product SOP for this, where we are saying we jointly will work on your cash customers, right? And if they go for a loan against vehicle, we will ensure a hefty amount of payout for this business, which will definitely going to help you to increase your revenue, which is a additional what has been you have thought of. And finally, that's all from my end. Ashutosh, once again, thank for the opportunity, and I really want to welcome all the channel partners. And I promised within next 24 hours we will connect with you, and we will ensure the whatever the signing formalities has been completed at your end. So that's all, Ashutosh, from my end. Thank you. Welcome all to Mahindra family.
Thank you so much, Nitesh. Really appreciate. And I think, like always, you've been very, very specific. But I think most to the point, and it kind of is something that will help dealers from tomorrow, which is, I think, the most operative part. Thank you once again. Abhishek, before we go for the last round of inaugurations, I have one small question for you. I think, and that will also put in perspective the kind of support we can give to our dealerships. There is all this talk about customer experience management. How do you propose that you manage the customer experience for our dealers? कैसे आप हमारे dealers को help करेंगे customer experience?
Sure. I think the key to the dealer value proposition is to make the customer experience seamless. I think whether it's online, offline, and online to offline, right? One thing is we are coming up with a new Car and Bike 2.0 website. It's going to be one of its kind website with a very extensive used car section. हमने already e-commerce launch किया है on Car and Bike, right? Both in Chennai and Pune markets, and we are already seeing some great numbers success there in these two markets. But the more important part is what happens to the rest of them, right? Once this pilot is successful, we are going to go live the whole hog pan India with the e-commerce story, right? But I think the key what we do with all the other 400 dealers who are not part of the pilot, but is part of our regular marketing initiatives, our marketing team, contact centers, field teams, and then dealership, they work in tandem day in and day out, right? Every visit to the website, to every walk-in at the store are valued in gold, honestly. We create enough touch points for the consumers to engage with the inventory, with all the listings that we have on our website. And we sort of let the customer fill in an inquiry by making a known decision. It's not somebody who is browsing the web, ad dekh liya, click kar liya, and he's just wanting to know more about the car. The customer is so well informed of what he's going to get from Mahindra First Choice when he is walking into our dealership is just amazing. What we nurture this customer right from the time they come to the website. They drop in a form on a couple of or few cars which they like. Our contact center teams call the customers. They explain the value proposition that Mahindra offers to these consumers, right? And it not only ends there, right? What we do is during the last 6 quarters, we have seen a big shift in the consumer preferences. Of course, pandemic being one of them. The way people are searching, the kind of queries that people type in, the kind of cars they're looking for. So all of these signs and research is given back to dealerships to help them build the kind of inventory that the consumer is looking for, right? That kind of intelligence comes what consumer wants at the dealership. It's not easy for the dealerships to do this research on their own independently for their market, for 10-kilometer radius, for 50-kilometer radius at the city level. But these kind of intelligent data points is shared by our teams sitting in-house with the dealerships so that the experience is not limited to, hey, how is the loading time on the website? But no, it's what kind of inventory he's seeing digitally and what kind of experience he's getting offline. When he visits the dealership, I think our dealers have such well-crafted SOPs to follow. And trust me, we are not a typical company which says, hey, the guardrails are so strong saying that we can only do so much for our customers. It's fluid in a very evenly balanced manner. And if the customer says, hey, you know what, I don't want to come to your store today. I promise that I will be coming to your store for a test drive. Can you send a car home? I think our dealerships are well equipped today to say to the customer, sure, sir, we'll send the car to you. It will take a couple of hours, but you will have it at your doorstep. So I think the entire customer experience has been thought through, revisited, and has been very flexible so that the customer sits right on top. We are able to cater to their needs and requirement. And all that we are looking to do at the end of the day is to make sure the customer gets what he needs at the right time, at the right place. And he only has to make a decision of, hey, is this car right for my need? Yes, it is. Okay, let me close the deal. Do you have the insurance? Do you have the finance facility? Yes, we have it all in house. Our dealers are very well equipped for each one of them. All the customer need to worry about is, hey, am I going to get a safe, hygienic car end of the day? Yes, the dealerships ultimately provide that to the customer.
Excellent. I think इसका एक normal way में if I decode it, I think the experience that Mahindra First Choice can add to what the dealers do at the store. Very good. Thank you so much. And with this, should we go to the last batch of inauguration of our 75 on 75?
Yes, actually, there's a smaller pack of 15 dealerships, but yes, I think this will complete the 75 golden dealerships that we launched.
So at the end of this this remarkable 90 minutes, when you saw stores literally from Jammu and Kashmir to Kerala and from Gujarat to Assam, the length and width of the country represented in these 75 dealerships. I would like to take this opportunity first to thank all the dealerships, the new dealerships, for joining us. We hope we have a fruitful, long association. I also want to thank all my existing dealerships, all my friends out there. Now that the business is opening up, now that pandemic is receding, it will not be long before we meet more often in person. So I look forward to meeting you soon. Then to all the team, Amit, Sunil, Abhishek, Suraj, and all the entire network team, the entire franchisee team, thank you for going the extra mile. I know things are challenging, but it's only in challenging times that the real solid people stand out. So thank you so much for making this day possible. Abhishek, to you and your team to make this event successful. Bala, thank you so much. And many other people who work behind the scenes. Thank you all so much. But at the end of the day, I would like to thank our chief guests, Sanjeev, who is now in the air, but Vishnu with us. Thank you so much for joining. Your presence really meant a lot to us. Nitesh, as always, my friend, anything you do, first there's approved first, and then we can decide what to approve. And of course, Amit, your guidance has helped us a lot over the last few months, and we expect to do the same, to hear from you in future as well. All the best, everyone. Thank you so much. Please stay safe. And once again, on behalf of everyone at Mahindra First Choice, thank you all for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashutosh. Thank you.
Thank you so much.